up, YouTube? This is your girl, Megan. Welcome back to my channel, cousins. However, if this is your first time joining us today, welcome. Hello. Welcome to the HoodAstroQ. It's here that we use information from celestial bodies to help us gain a better understanding of our favorite celebrities, world events, but most importantly, our damn selves. So subscribe to become part of the family. Thumbs up this video to help grow the channel. And of course, click that notification bell so that way you will be alerted whenever I make a new post. And today I want to talk about the 5 different times Beyoncé told us that she was a Cancer North Node. And I'm doing this because it's interesting. I do have a love-hate relationship with Beyoncé, mostly hate, okay, for valid reasons and reasons that I'll get into maybe on another video. But she does have a very interesting life in terms of the way she has been able to exude a lot of her lunar nodal energy. Now, in astrology, your lunar nodal placements are the most important part of the birth chart as they signify your soul's evolution, your soul's journey, and they can help dictate and explain other aspects within the chart as all of your aspects, all of your placements work together to form your life's trajectory, your life path, so to speak. And a lot of times we can exude these qualities and they could be just as strong or influence our decisions just as strongly as our sun sign, sometimes even more so, of course, depending on the other conditions surrounding the chart. So let's go ahead and get started. So number 1, Beyoncé and her newfound interest in connecting to her roots, connecting to her African heritage and culture, focusing more on ancestral worship and focusing more on the continent of Africa. This was put on display during her most recent project. I believe this was last year or the year before that, called Black is King. And this was a soundtrack follow-up to her horrible, piss poor performance in that Lion King remake. Okay. However, nonetheless, the actual film within itself did a really good job at depicting the different cultures within the African diaspora. Her music was heavily influenced by it. A lot of the visuals and things like that were heavily influenced by it, because I think she actually even took a pilgrimage to Africa or different countries within Africa. So that's very much an attribute to that Cancer North Node, because for many Cancer North Node individuals in this lifetime, they do need to learn how to become a lot more attached to their roots. These are people who can benefit from learning from their ancestors. And I do see this in the charts of a lot of people who can find interest in ancestral worship or studying their ancestors, or, you know, the type of people to have just a really strong interest in knowing where they came from, you know, getting connected to your roots. Cancer is your roots. Okay. Now, the second time Beyoncé showed us that she was indeed a Cancer North Node is when she endorsed Hillary Clinton. And this is because what Hillary Clinton represents, especially if you are somebody well versed in politics and just from a historical standpoint. Hillary Clinton is the embodiment of brutal capitalism. Her time and her stint as a politician has yielded some of the most oppressive, exploitive pieces of legislation known to man. She is one of the most disliked politicians thus far, one of the most, especially despite the fact that you do have a lot of people who are just brainwashed with the Democratic Party, right? People who are just going to be blindly loyal to the Democratic Party. It's a lot of y'all. Hey, y'all, I see y'all. What's up? But for the most part, everyone else with functioning brains knows that Hillary Clinton and anything that she's attached to or involved in is not only evil, for my own personal opinion, right? My opinion, but just, you know, sheer facts and statistics and data to support the fact that she is heavily plugged in and involved in the corporate world. And Capricorn South Nodes, aka Cancer North Nodes, are very much corporatists. They are staunch capitalists. She and Jay-Z, and I know there has been a lot of association, even when it comes to people referring to Jay-Z as a capitalist, him making the decision to own his own NFL team, and the whole situation that happened between him and Colin Kaepernick, and just lots of stuff, right? People have kind of been looking at either Beyonce or Jay-Z in a particular way. And rightfully so, considering her being a Cancer North Node. This deals with her natural mode of operation being to exploit given circumstances, or to do what works for her, do whatever's going to put her in the best position. This is another reason why Beyonce is such a hard worker. Of course, you can attribute it to her Virgo sun, that Virgo energy, absolutely. But in addition to that, and I would even say just from a larger perspective, a more karmic perspective, Cancer North Nodes are individuals who are hyperfixated upon securing their destiny, okay, solidifying their own reputation. And they could be total kiss asses to people in authority, those in power, especially if we're talking about people who operate within this capitalistic framework. And a lot of this also ties back into Cancer North Node's ability to always want to be viewed in a favorable light. They care a lot about their, once again, legacy and reputation. And if they're able to align themselves with authority figures and people in power who can help foster that. Which brings me to my next point. The third time Beyonce showed us that she was, in fact, a Cancer North Node. When she started stealing people's shit. Or when at least she was accused of stealing the work, whether it's intellectual property, artistic property of many smaller and lesser known artists over the years. All right. Once again, something else her WASP family hates to admit. Okay. But your girl, she does it. She does it. Now, there are two ways that you could look at this, to be fair, because I try to be objective as I possibly can. So one way you can look at this as her being a Cancer North Node, a lot of Cancers mimic the behavior of people that they admire. And it is often done from a place of good intent. These are people, and you have to think about it, it's because the moon does mimic, it does reflect light. It is very impressionable, so to speak. It can replicate. So with that being said, I mean, if these people set their sights on some type of creativity or some type of idea, some type of person or concept that really inspires them, they could subconsciously, hence that Cancer energy, kind of model themselves after that individual, or model whatever project they're working on after said particular project. And if they don't pay the proper homage formally, people can view that for just straight up jacking people's stuff off, ripping people's stuff off. Now, the other way you could look at this as her residing in that Capricorn South Node energy and just straight up crushing the competition. Big bank take little bank, big fish eat small fish. That's very Capricorn. Ruthless, relentless, and all about what's going to give me an edge up. How can I take that elevator to success? And these people are willing to do so even at the expense of other people. With Capricorn being the sign of capitalism, capitalism is literally synonymous with exploitation. So, but it could also work in the other direction to where these people themselves can be exploited. So I will give her that. So y'all drop down in the comment section. Feel free to give your interpretation of this. Which energy do you think she exudes when she does things like this? Number 4, the fourth time Beyonce told the world that she was a Cancer North Node was when she started embracing her divine feminine. This is around the time that she conceived the twins. She started taking very down home, ultimate super mother kind of photo shoots, maternity pictures. She even spoke more often about embracing being a mother, having a family, taking time to cultivate that side of her. I think she even wrote a letter recently saying that she was taking a break from her career to spend more time at home, which means that technically speaking, she is directly on path. She's on par and on brand with that Cancer North Node of operation, because a huge part of these individuals' karma is to learn how to tend to private matters, family matters. This is why they tend to have very effed up family lives and personal lives, because they spend so much time trying to either chase a bag, or even as mothers, these are women who could lack maternal instincts. These are women who could spend a lot of time working, which she has, right? The super workaholic types who don't have much time for their family, which also validates some of the rumors that I've heard over the years in terms of her not being really close to Blue Ivy. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying she's not close to her child at all. I mean, I don't know. But a lot of people were saying that Blue Ivy was raised by the nanny or something to that effect. And that would actually make sense if, in fact, Beyonce was operating out of that Capricorn South Node energy. I mean, these are moms who are literally, they could be married to their career. So in this lifetime, she's supposed to learn how to take a pause on that and fall off into her family and really embrace and go full throttle with the motherhood role, the wife role, and really work on nurturing and taking care of your family. And then finally, the fifth thing that Beyonce did to really show the world that she was a Cancer North Node was having a miscarriage. Now, although having a miscarriage obviously is not something that is intentional at all, it is something that a lot of women suffer from. It's a really big deal and all of that stuff. Let me start by saying that. However, the whole concept of her having fertility issues is very much in sync with that Cancer North Node energy. This is also a very karmic struggle, because these people in this lifetime are supposed to experience motherhood, but that often comes with many challenges. A lot of Cancer North Nodes, because Cancer does deal with the womb, it deals with, the essence of motherhood, pregnancy. These women can experience a lot of afflictions in terms of being able to carry a child full term. It's really not uncommon for a lot of these women to experience at least one miscarriage. And some other famous examples of women with this lunar nodal placement are Wendy Williams, who had like 7 or 8 miscarriages before she finally had her son, her one and only child, Kevin Hunter Jr. And then even Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's widow. Back a few years ago in the early 2010s, the couple came out and admitted that she had experienced a miscarriage at some point. And I think this was prior to the youngest baby being born. It had to. So there you have it. These are women who can experience major upheavals in terms of being able to carry a child, which also validates a lot of those rumors about Beyonce's first pregnancy with Blue Ivy. She went on a talk show or an interview, and Sister Girl sat down and her whole stomach deflated. And people were like, how are you pregnant but your stomach is deflating? It did not have that same round curvature as it does in photo shoots and in other angles. So a lot of people were wondering, like, well, do you think Beyonce could have had a surrogate for Blue? Do you think they could have turned a couple of tricks to make it seem like she was actually conceiving and carrying child? I think so. I think so. I would not rule that out with her being a Cancer North Node. Not at all. So with that being said, this concludes my list. 5 things that Beyonce did to tell y'all she was a Cancer North Node. So feel free to drop down in the comment section, share your thoughts, share your opinions, but keep it cute, Wise Hive, because I be blocking. I throw the best block parties. Let me know if you're trying to come. Okay. So make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And until the next video, I holla.